The CrunchCast is a podcast with game developers talking about games. You can check us out at crunchstudios.com. There you can find links to all the episodes via video or MP3 download, as well as links to our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/crunchcast. We also have a YouTube channel, Vimeo channel, an RSS feed link there to all the audio, and a link to a Polycount thread where there's been plenty of discussion about it. You can also follow us on Twitter at CrunchCast, and everybody that's on here pretty much has an account as well. So just do that little delay at the start.
Damn, I'm tired.
Damn. Don't worry, we'll have a cold too. Hopefully I'm getting over it. I feel good. Ate dinner tonight.
Yeah, you got pretty wrecked by that.
Well, you get the GDC flu. It happens a lot when you go to these shows. You'll get some kind of cold or something. Especially when you're around a whole bunch of people and you travel and then you're around more people. It's ridiculous. You're not getting all your good nutritions.
Yeah, I was talking to this one dude who was saying, like, the thing I hate about parties at GDC is usually they're so fucking loud, the music is so loud, people like leaning in your face and basically like spitting into your open mouth and spreading disease. That
is kind of what happens there. But yeah, for those of you that don't know, GDC was last week, and this is CrunchCast number 35. We're kind of doing a GDC wrap-up, me and John here. Brian was there too, but he's not here tonight because he's got to work out, dude. And that's totally cool.
He's got to stay buff,
dude. If you met him out there, whoa, he's a tough guy. So yeah, GDC was cool. How was it for you, bro?
It was a lot of fun. Didn't actually go to the conference or anything. Like literally, all I do when I go to GDC, since I don't have a company sponsoring me anymore, I just fly myself out there, hang around inside the convention center, wait to see people I know, and then just set up meetings with everybody I can, like in and around the center, and then things go great for me. I don't have to spend like $250 to $2,000 on a pass.
Yeah, John just ninjas his way in there.
Pretty much. I usually end up getting a pass. I didn't try this year, but like a lot of companies I deal with, like they'll buy a block of GDC passes. And they're not even all assigned. They just get like this, I guess, a bulk rate. So I'll have a meeting with them, and they know it's like, oh, you don't have a badge? Here, I'll give you one. Every single trade show I've ever been to where I haven't gotten a badge, I always just
I always see you walking around with a badge with someone else's name on it.
I've only ever done that twice.
Yeah, well, that's the only 2 times I've met you. No, we've met before. That's just a joke. We're pals from the past.
Yeah. I've known you for like 15 years now.
Yeah, at least, probably more than that. If you really count up the math, but we don't need to do that.
Pyramage and Lingo.
Yeah, remember those old guys from the Quake and Mod days?
Yep.
Yeah.
Back when I actually did Quake C, I actually didn't like coding. I made my own mods on my own.
Good times. So, I know since you didn't really get to go on the floor of GDC, you didn't get to see too much to say, oh, I saw this really cool thing.
Pretty much.
I guess.
It's all parties.
Yeah, it's all parties. I mean, of course, like most of the stuff comes out on videos in the next few days. So everybody's already talked about everything that's neat.
Yeah.
It was good for us. We were put up in the Crytek booth, which was right up front.
Badass. Plug the game, man.
Yeah, I was going to do that. We were showing the PC version of Nexus. Obviously, the Xbox version has already been released, and we're wrapping up the PC version now, which is exciting because it's much higher detail and features and whatnot. The robust features of the CryEngine 3. Hey.
Robust.
I like that word a lot. It's really good to use when you're demoing the game to go. So there's a robust blankety blank. And you can put that before anything and it makes it sound great, but it's vague enough that everyone has to believe you. Like, there's a robust texture library. Well, there's more than 10. There's a robust amount of guns. There's more than 10. There's
people just immediately nod. People just immediately nod.
Yeah, robust.
Yes. Wait, what?
All they're thinking about is bust and breasts.
Robust is a very robust texture pack.
Nice. So yeah, I mean, we're right there in their booth, so we get to check out all their new stuff too. Which for us, it wasn't really new stuff, like all that displacement mapping, the DX11 stuff. I mean, since I've been working with the engine for the last few years, it's what we're actually been using for development. So I'm kind of used to it, but to other people, it's like, holy shit. DX11 tessellation. I haven't been paying attention for the last 2 years to know this has already been out.
I hear this is DX11. Wow.
DX11, that's right.
That's so robust.
Somebody posted that on one of my replies. They're like, do more CrunchCast. Dick's 11. Anyway, yeah, it's been out, and it's really the next phase. Obviously, if you're deving right now, you might not be using it. The next consoles are probably going to use all of that. So if people are starting development on a new project, there's a good chance they're using all these features. Good to be on top of that.
That's excellent. I hear you got an opportunity to see the new Wolfenstein 3D engine.
Wolf 3D.
Or 2.5D, I hear. It's supposed to be a pretty big deal.
You're talking about Epic's new product, right?
Probably.
Well, I can say this. I got this cool T-shirt that has a U4 on it. So
is that blood? Who'd you kill for that?
No, they were giving them out, and it's pretty cool. I tweeted a picture of it, and everybody got all excited.
Oh, that's awesome.
Even though if you were there, like everybody was wearing them that had seen it, so they were kind of all over the place.
It's like a badge of distinction.
Yeah, you had to get in there. I mean, like I said, I got lucky because our company was signed up as a potential licensee to get in, and we got to watch the demonstration. It was a lot like last year's with the Samaritan demo, where the demo was totally different. I just mean the way they presented it, where it's like, here's the trailer, and then we show you kind of what's going on here in the editor, and talk about features and stuff. Really nice, looking good. I mean, as I was saying, there's a lot of these tech. If you're on top of what's coming out, you know what pretty much they're going to have in there for the most part. Mm-hmm. But it just looks cool to actually see it, especially running on a hot piece of ass computer. And then go ahead.
So from what I hear, the new Unreal Ed is driven completely off of gestures from a Kinect. Is that true?
What? I don't know anything about that.
He's
you mean
denying it?
Just
he's
doing
not
this,
denying it.
Doing this like a what do you call it? The Minority Report stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That's why here.
Maybe somebody could hook something like that up. Why not?
If somebody hasn't already, I'd be astonished.
Yeah, people love that stuff.
Sorry, I'm goofy and
cool.
fucking around.
I just lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, the cool thing about after seeing it was talking to like the other guys like the poly counters at the poly count party, who worked at Epic and who actually worked on it. So everybody that worked on it was so excited to talk to anyone that had seen it. They're like, "You saw it? Awesome! Here's what we did." Because it was something that they were really excited about, and they were a little bottled up inside. Yeah, it was cool to talk to those guys. So.
It's like you're strutting, wearing the shirt, wearing sunglasses inside.
No, I didn't actually wear it. Usually I don't like to wear those shirts until you wash them one time. When you get it, always if I get a new shirt, especially a shirt, I just want to wash it once first. But
it's covered in conference funk.
Yeah. But the joke they said I should do is I should wear a button-up shirt with that under it, and then I would open up the button-up shirt like Superman while like in the Crytek booth, just because it's hilarious.
That's pretty fucking funny.
Yeah.
Super privileged.
It's weird, man.
So how,
you can go from one show. Oh, go ahead. No, I was just gonna say real quick. You can go from like a place where you're just kind of like an artist sitting back doing your thing to another place where you get to be put in these weird positions like that. Strange stuff happens. Anyway, the overall show is a lot more people than last year. I think I read. I don't know if you read it. Wasn't the statistic like? Something in the teens, or
22.5.
22, 20.5. How much again?
22,500. It's a
the total attendance. Well, I mean, it was a certain percentage higher than last year. It's a significant percentage higher. Sorry, I was kind of not wording that properly.
No, I
think it was either in the 10s or the 20s. I forget. You can look it up. Either way, yeah, it was significant. I noticed a significantly larger amount of people there, and that's good because
it were big.
Yeah, GDC's the fun one. I think on the last one I said something about the show floor being like that one main area, but this time it was all split up. They had the career pavilion in a whole other building. I mean, there's so many different areas, and they had the GDC Play in its own area, which was all kinds of stuff.
I did get in to see that for like 2 minutes before I had to go to another meeting. That was really cool. Like all these different, if we're talking the same thing, just like 100 different kiosks, each playing a different game. Like from the smaller indie developers, everything's playable.
That's what GDC
It was
Play was.
huge. Oh man, the scale of it was awesome. There are tons of people there. People really seem to be enjoying it. There's a lot of really great looking stuff in there. I was super impressed.
Yeah, I went there a couple times and checked out. You got to go back, see what else is going on. They had a little history of 3D there that was pretty cool. They had all the old consoles and showing all the old original 3D games. It was kind of neat.
Dude, back when I worked at NCSoft, Richard Garrett used to have his old PC and console collection. It was like laid out in like one of the entranceways. I mean, everything. I don't even remember the model numbers. Like everything. Like there's like Atari 2600 with just like the craziest, most old school shit ever. It was just like this huge array of like 15, 20 years of gaming history with the games that he worked on. And it wasn't like it was all like out in the open, not behind glass. It was pretty rad. It was just there for all the people who worked at NCSoft to see. But just seeing the visual progression and the technological progression from one to the other, like glancing at at one thing, then glancing to the next. Just like they're only 6 inches apart, but that's like 1 to 2 years of like tens or hundreds of millions of dollars of technological research creating the next big great thing. Just standing back from that, just look and letting your eyes sweep from one side to the other to see just the scope and the magnificence of it. It was really interesting, but you totally got used to it after like your second day.
Yeah. I think back to a lot of that stuff. Like, when I was a youngster, I remember all these. Like that whole 3D museum. I remember all that stuff. I remember it all coming out. So it's weird, almost looking back at it. Like I know most people that were going to be there aren't even going to know what any of that shit was. It came out before they were born.
I know.
So,
dude,
but I look back at it like, look at this weird toy. I remember this bullshit, or I remember this. Like they had like the Virtual Boy hanging out and shit.
Good lord.
Good old Virtual Boy. I always wanted one, but never bought one because I was too young to afford one, and there was no games.
I'd just go to Target and look at it and think, "Oh, this is neat. Oh, my eyes hurt," and then leave.
Yeah, I remember the Turbo Graphics dropping down to $25. That's how I got one of those.
Oh my god!
Every game was $1 at Toys R Us.
Dude, it's like the Virtual Boy from when I remember. Like, you remember those old horrible little, they're like little handheld.
Yeah, the little handheld things were just like a picture, like tink tink across the screen, kind of like it's not really moving.
It's like literally a technological equivalent of like a neon light animation, except it's in like the little, like a Super Plumber Brothers kind of like little $15.99 thing you beg your mom to get you. It's like the Virtual Boy is just like that inside this like ridiculous headset, and it's all red.
Game and Watch.
Oh God! And now, when you go to the right hotel, you can get every game ever made for the N64 and before inside. Every knockoff game, inside an N64 controller.
Nice.
Which is kind of cool.
It's a benefit. Oh, hey, I got a kind of a silly story. Our original hotel we got at GDC. Mm-hmm. It wasn't in so great of a neighborhood. They call it the Tenderloin. If you know anything about that, you're like, oh man, I already hate this story.
I was staying in the Tender Knob. Like, seriously.
Whoa.
That's the name of the area.
Yeah.
But yes, the Tenderloin. That's the only place of San Francisco where I hear you're not supposed to stay out after 10.
Yeah, I mean, we walked back one of the days, and it was just as it was getting dark, and it was like a lot of people smoking crack and offering us drugs. So it wasn't that great of an area.
So you weren't in the mood?
I mean, if they were offering, higher quality product, then maybe. That's what I'm talking about here. That when they're throwing the bottom barrel at you, you're not in the best place, unless you're after that. But that wasn't our gimmick for the night, if you know what I mean. So we get back to the hotel, and the hotel, it wasn't that great. It was a very old building, It's not. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it was fine. I've been in worse places, as far as like in the hotel itself. But some of the other guys, apparently they found. They don't know if it was fleas or bed bugs or what, but they were in their beds, so they got a refund, and we moved over to the Hilton, which is a really nice place.
Jesus, that's quite an upgrade.
Oh God, yeah, and it was way closer, like a mile closer walking. It was also just a block away from the Polycount party, so that was sweet.
And you guys were like, "Fuck off, way the hell out there!"
It was, it was 13 blocks from the main center.
So my girlfriend and I, Meredith and I, ran across you guys just like when you're walking
Just
over
walking
to the
down the
convention
street.
center. And that was fairly far from the convention center, at least like kind of from where we were. We were sort of surprised to see. It was like it was on Mission and God knows what.
Yeah, we were just walking around because Chuck had to go somewhere for a meeting, but then it was like everything was do this, do that, do this, do that kind of thing, really quick.
But it was still funny, just walking through a random street in San Francisco and saying,
there you are.
I've known him for 15 years.
There's somebody I know.
Stopped, stared at all of you till you noticed me.
It took me a second because I just wasn't thinking about it. I'm more just looking around going, ooh, I haven't seen any of this.
Oh, who's this ugly mother? John!
Yeah, look at that purple hair.
But, yeah, wacky. But so you guys got upgraded to the Hilton. That's good.
Oh, yeah. We stayed there last year, and the place is awesome. It's one of those places you go and you're like, oh, this is too nice for me, Ace. Hey, that's just how I feel. I'm immediately like, man, this is a nice place. I mean, yeah, there's better hotels, I'm sure, but I am a hick from the mountains, and if there's a toilet inside the building, I'm surprised.
Chris is hill people.
Yeah.
Like, Chris even has a bathroom in his apartment, but he still walks across the street to pee in the bushes.
Yeah.
Just like, it's hick to the bone.
No, I'm housebroken now. It's fine.
I still see you go off the balcony.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Only for number 2.
Only for number 2. That way you can just toss the toilet paper and no one's the wiser.
Only the 4th, 3rd, 2nd, 1st floor people.
Yeah. That's only when it's like wet. But enough of the fraudulent stories. We should stick to what actually happened there.
Each fiber, kids.
It helps. Yeah, actually, more people I ran into were just like that. Just ran into them on the street. Like, oh, there's so and so. Hey, or you go into a party or a bar or anywhere afterwards. And you're like, oh, hey. Like, I ran into one of my old bosses. I need to contact him now because I feel bad about. I couldn't find him afterwards because I was going down one escalator and he was coming up the other. These are the really big escalators in that one room. Mm-hmm. And he's like, hey, hey, and he's like, hey, I'm over here, check me out. I'm like, yeah. And I came back, one of the days and just really scoured the floor he said he was on. I couldn't find anything. I'm terrible at that. So I gotta, email him and apologize or something because we didn't hang out, we didn't pal up. Like, you always miss some people. There's so many people.
Oh, totally. I had a list of 30 people I meant to meet with. I think I maybe got to 15 or 20 of them, but it just happens. But I did get to run into Ryan Hawkins from Polycount, as well as Dylan Brady, who's Bone Brew, and Mr. Jack Monahan, Gauss.
Yes, I thought I saw him. A bunch of people showed up for the PC party early and then rolled because it was really hot. Like, especially Thursday night, it was crazy hot in that building, and so a bunch of people left and went to some like Microsoft party, and then some came back. So I don't know, I wasn't there.
Yeah, Thursday was like the one night where I was like booked from like 6 p.m. on.
That's right. Because we wanted to hang out with you. We wanted to invite you to that dinner, and you were like, I got my shit. That was the 7 courses of beef night, right?
I think so. Yeah, like that was the one party that I've been waiting to go to for 2 fucking years. It was quite rad.
Well, that is cool. Yeah.
But just like Ryan Hawkins, I think recognized me from the CrunchCast.
A lot of people, like Brian was getting it randomly on the street.
That's awesome.
I got it quite a bit. You know what? Here's the first thing everyone said to me all week. You're taller than you look, or some sort of variation of those words, or you look taller, something like that. I'm short on camera, but I'm actually 6'4".
Tall am look you.
Mm-hmm. What's the what? Tall. I got you. I got what you did there. I just got confused. I thought I was having a stroke where I hear the words wrong.
No, just me being a tard.
Oh, it's fun. So yeah, that was pretty much the number one thing I heard. Yeah, but it's great meeting all the guys. Shoot, man, all those guys, Ryan and Nick and fucking Caesar. I was actually gonna do this gimmick where I was just gonna say, oh yeah, Dakota and Brian and Chad and Tim and Mike and Chris and Mark and every other dude name And eventually you're gonna hit somebody. They go, yeah, that's me. He's talking about me.
So you got to meet Kaiser
Permanente? No, he's a polycounter.
Caesar Alta Gracia. He worked at a Gearbox and Marmonarist.
That sounds right. I'm gonna have to look at it written down, and I'm sorry, Caesar.
Dude is super cool. I've been trying to work with him.
He's great.
Super talented. Like I said, he's been one person I've been after for quite a while for environment art.
Really?
Super talented guy.
Now he knows. I think he's looking for work. If he's
he's well aware. I've been hitting him up with something about about every couple of weeks the last few months.
And I bet you he's like, fuck this guy.
Pretty much. Just nobody should trust someone with blue purple hair.
Look at this guy. He's disgusting. Somebody give this guy a bath.
But actually, just a funny random thing. Like the first night I was there, I think it was Tuesday night where I started running into other devs. I went over to, I think it was Callahan. It's Mick O Irish names over by Hotel Nico. Ran into a bunch of dudes there. And it was really dark, and my hair only shows up in the light. So I was hanging out with everybody. They seemed kind of surprised I didn't have the weird colored hair. And we were just chatting for a while. And then throughout the entire rest of the week, every single person I saw there, when they saw me in the light, they'd stop and then look at me and say, "Did your hair change?" Or some variation thereof. Apparently, there's this whole thing. Every single person that saw me swore I dyed my hair that night. It just only shows up in really bright light.
No, you got that. It is the iridescent color where at one angle it's like green, the other angle it's purple.
Yep.
Is that the kind of shit? Yeah, you got that.
My joke is it's like a mood ring. It's a mood based dye. It's only blue when I'm aroused.
Nice. Hey, I linked you that scene. That's probably what you're thinking about, right? That guy.
Oh, let me look. Yeah, Kaiser Tamarong. Yep, that's a dude.
That's the guy.
Super talented guy.
Sanctuary. Yeah.
He knows what's up.
Cool. There's your plug, bro. You got it. He's got lovely long hair.
He takes care of that. I met him once very briefly at I think AGDC or QuakeCon, one or the other. But yeah, if you guys ever see Caesar Alta Gracia, also known as Kaiser Demerung, look at him twice. Look at his art. He's fucking badass. He knows what the hell he's doing.
Hooray.
Anywho,
yeah.
Plug over. I just really like the guy and I want him to do well.
That's cool. Yeah, nice. He's working hard. Or hardly working. I just love that.
No, he works really hard.
He does work really hard.
Dude, you and I haven't done this like one-on-one in quite a while.
Well, it's fun. I'm doing our little thing back and forth. And yes, that's another difficult thing about those shows, man. When especially if you got to work a booth and you always be on a schedule and you talk to everybody all the time. Really be out there. By the time you're doing those later shows or later parties and stuff, you're almost like ready to pass out.
Oh, dude,
you're getting brain dead. It's just overstimulation.
Dude, like that party on Thursday, every single person I wanted to talk to was so just wiped from working the floor and doing everything. Everyone was just half comatose, which is kind of disappointing to tell you the truth. But yeah, I mean that shit's exhausting. Like I
do my best to put in a bunch of beer as quick as possible.
Holy shit, Daxter came out almost 6 years ago. God, I'm getting old. Actually, I think it's the last time I had booth duty. But back when I did that, we all had to wear this Daxter shirt.
Nice.
That was just like mine was too tight until he made my man boobs really visible. So I had to sit out there for like 3 or 4 hours. I had to pretend not to notice this one guy I totally hate, like this entire time. Just sort of like hanging around and waiting to talk to me. He and I he ended up creating this little game where like, oh no, John doesn't hate me. We just play this little game where we pretend not to notice each other. It was pretty funny. But dude, I mean, just staying on your feet for that long in one place, and that's in a way that's almost worse than like walking around everywhere, just because it's literally shifting from foot to foot, and you're sort of tethered to a small space. And you guys had some pretty weird shifts, right? Especially toward the end.
They were they were good. It's better to work shifts, or to at least know to have shifts, as opposed to just saying be there all day.
Yeah,
because that's much more draining, especially over the longer shows. But the GDC wasn't too bad, and the idea of shifts, at least delegated the fact that, hey, I could be sitting down right now and it's cool. But a lot of times, if you were just around, you would just be there in the booth anyway, just being supportive or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just part of the game.
Team spirit.
Yay. It's where you want to be. Because everybody knows it's where everybody knows you're going to be there, so they're going to stop by and shit like that.
It's like, oh my god, are you Chris Holden from the CrunchCast? You are enormous.
Nexus, you're going to buy
you're
it.
You're a mountain of a man.
We're all from Sesame Street. I was going to say Muppets, but I don't know what was going on there. But that's exactly what me and John think of everyone that listens to this show. Apparently.
Yeah, like literally, I don't even hear other people's voices anymore. It's all Muppets in my head.
You just hear Muppet sounds.
Occasionally, no, with you, I get Mickey Mouse.
Nice.
It's like
he's one of the high level guys.
Your portfolio sucks. That's you. Seriously, that's all I hear in my head. I think it's
nice.
It's some kind of mental illness, but I choose not to treat it because life is way more interesting.
It's like when a grenade goes off near your head.
Or you just drop your head a lot, or
concussions.
Or like your parents, instead of spanking you, they like fake drown you.
Yeah. It's as though you had a career in boxing, but over your 40 matches, you landed 0 strikes. You would have some sort of result to your head.
I have a Sean Baby article to link you.
Okay. For those that don't know, Sean Baby is a writer for Cracked.com, and Cracked.com is a really funny site that consistently puts up at least 2 or 3 articles a day. And sometimes you get some hit or misses, but if you follow certain writers, if you like a writer that writes for them, this one guy, he puts together some pretty silly things, mostly manly, tough things about MMA or wrestling. Or he does this one thing where he'll take old school comics and rewrite them in hilarious ways.
Dude's a genius. He used to be a part of Old Man Murray, for those that are old enough to remember that. But yeah, I sent you a UFC article that Sean Baby wrote that was just fucking hilarious, talking about this UFC fighter who has he's like one of those horrible fighters ever, but he has like the most invincible skull in the world. Like let's see.
Yeah, he was in Pride. People that know old school MMA know Pride. Yeah.
So Ken Shamrock beat this guy so hard that he started having heart palpitations, and his corner threw in the towel. And I quote, "Seriously, Fujita took a beating so severe that the man doing it had a goddamn heart attack. I guess it was a strategy devised by his stand-up coach, Anna Nicole Smith's vagina. And while doctors were treating Ken Shamrock, the only thing that was hurt on Fujita was the team of archaeologists that happened to be exploring his skull's upper mantle at the time." This is like I've cried laughing at this like at least a dozen times, like this entire article. It is okay. I have to turn that off, or I'm just going to lose my shit.
Yeah, like his finals against Alistar Overeem, who just throws knees into his head. And if you know what Alistar is up to these days, it's he kills
more
people
knee than man.
Yeah, I think Rogan described it as he hit some guy with a knee, and you thought that there was a sniper in the rafters that shot the guy dead. I'll be sure to save this link for everybody.
I've never heard of this Joe Rogan fellow. What can you tell me about him?
Oh, he does podcasts, and he does a comedian. He did the Fear Factor show, and he's a commentator for the UFC. He's delightful.
The Fear Factor. Yeah. Have you ever watched Bob's Burgers?
Yeah, I like Bob's Burgers. I like because it has that John. Who is it? John Benjamin. Yeah.
Voice of Archer, but like you sounded like Bob's wife.
Oh yeah.
He was on Fear Factor. If no one has seen Bob's Burgers, that is an absolutely ridiculous show. I didn't get it the first couple episodes I saw. But
it's one of those cartoons on Fox that they kind of jammed in there recently with like The Simpsons and Family Guy. But you can watch it on Hulu. Because I don't really watch much TV.
It's a wonderful show. Really, really fucking funny. It's way better than the It's John Benjamin Has a Van. There are a couple episodes that are kind of funny, but that shit was like way too goofy and high concept.
Yeah, I've not even seen it. I'm a fan of it. I've not even seen it.
If you guys like Archer, you got guys like Archer's voice, watch Bob's Burgers.
Yeah, I love his voice. It's so I don't know how to explain it. It's just so dead. I guess. I don't know. Was it like deadpan?
Absolutely impossible to imitate.
Yeah, but he has this way of being like He's completely just laying down like a straight line of dialogue, and then he can do that crazy thing where he gets like way high up there and goes crazy. It's entertaining what he does.
That episode of Archer, like, you have an ocelot? Look at his tufted ears. Just like when he just goes all high pitched from the fucking A. Dude, Archer is totally like Arrested Development if Job was James Bond.
I could see it. Why not?
Well, in my mind, plus they have so many Arrested Development voices. They had David Cross for like 2 or 3 episodes in the new season. But fuck, I love that show.
Oh yeah.
Sorry,
Crossy, he's hilarious.
Do what?
David Cross, he's hilarious. Everybody loves him.
Oh, he's incredible.
None of those guys were at GDC though, I guess.
Fuckers.
No, I don't know. There might have been. A few people post pictures, and if you go to the Polycount, the GDC thread, a bunch of people started posting pictures in there from meetups and stuff. So that's a good way to see a bunch of people who are there.
Like the only even remotely celebrity person I saw while I was there was Randy Pitchford from Gearbox.
Whoa. Yeah, super cool. You see some high-level game dudes there, and that's always pretty cool.
Like there's a party a couple years ago that was like ultra invite only, and like they had like really fucking tough bouncers, like making sure nobody that was not on the list could get into this. Like they were brutally tough about it. And apparently Randy Pitchford was the only person that was able to talk his way in. He's just that fucking cool.
Oh yeah, and that's the Epic
These
booth.
These are not game people.
To see that Unreal 4 stuff was like that. There was 2 security guards. One who was like just looked like a badass, and the other who looked like, he's seen some trouble too, but he couldn't read, and he had the list. So that's the gimmick they pull on you. They give the guy the list who can't read. So that means they have to
brilliant,
jerk you around a little bit till somebody actually, one of the Epic guys comes over and like immediately goes, these guys.
Brilliant.
And inside of that, there's like all these cameras, these infrared cameras watching everybody.
I wish I'd had a badge. I absolutely could have gotten into that. Damn.
You probably could, for sure. But and then when they actually started the thing, that one of the security guys were in there like boom, like watching everybody like a hawk.
So I bet
it was pretty cool. I felt like we were seeing something neat, and then it was just unreal.
Dude,
that's awesome.
When before they announced Alan Wake, like way back when, like their first E3, like 14 years before they finally released it.
Well, I remember when they first showed that engine, it was a big deal, man. Anyway, go ahead.
It was insane. Dude, the PC version just sold 2 million copies. They made all their monny back in the first day.
I heard about
sales.
this.
They already hit 2 million, which is great. I love revenue.
I kind of want to check it out because I remember seeing it played on the Xbox, but it's just one of those games I missed at the time because I was doing my thing.
Same. Like
I might have to check it out now.
I loved Wacky Wheels. I loved. I think I played Death Race. I loved Max Payne 1 and 2. Max Payne 3, the fat bald dude, whatever. But Alan Wake, I'm at this point, I'm totally gonna have to get it now. I've just been like in the weird startup mode, and I've just missed a lot of games. But dude, like I got to go. This I was so proud of this. I got to go into the Alan Wake booth to see it before they'd showed any videos or any media from it, just because I happen to know a guy. And on my way
that's
out,
how it always works. Dude, you happen to know a guy.
After I got out, after I freed up a spot, I saw Sinbad, the comedian, taken in. Do you remember Sinbad?
Oh yeah, dude. He was actually on an episode of a very funny recent. I forget how recent it was. Shoot. Anyway, he was on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
I haven't
in some
seen
insane
that
way. He just had a really short bit, but it was hilarious. If you've seen it, you know it.
I love Sinbad. I always thought he was hilarious, but like on my way out, I'm like, wow, I saw a cool thing. Oh, Sinbad has taken my spot. Oh my god. But yeah, that's my most exciting celebrity encounter.
Yeah, well, I remember going to plenty of E3s, and at E3 because it's in LA.
No, E3 is the proper grammar.
Okay.
No, it's not.
You always see a bunch of those types there. Like I remember the Doom 3 line had like Robin Williams in it and shit. Obviously the Doom 3 line, this is many years ago, but back then it was, wow, Doom 3.
Well, dude, Robin Williams is apparently like this crazy hardcore gamer.
There's Legend of Zelda
he's like
games
Vin Diesel
or commercials.
Level.
Legend of Zelda commercials of him. Because he named his daughter Zelda.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Like I would love to be Robin Williams' friend for like 15 minutes a day.
Yeah, might get annoying. No, he's calmed down a lot since he stopped doing coke.
Well, 15 minutes a day. That's my stipulation.
Okay.
But yeah, like apparently he's a crazy hardcore gamer, like sort of like Vin Diesel level. I remember they had. Oh god.
So you're saying Vin Diesel was a hardcore gamer, or Vin Diesel's just like a hardcore guy?
Hardcore gamer. He's like a massive D&D nerd. Like he plays.
Well, I know he's into games, and he's got his own game that was pretty good, and he's been involved in it. So yeah, I just wasn't sure what your reference you were making there, bro. Oh, no, for people that don't know, Vin Diesel loves video games. Go ahead.
And D&D. Like he's a massive D&D nerd, which I mean, he totally looks the part.
Yeah.
But is he working anymore?
Who, Vin Diesel? Isn't he in the new G.I. Joe movie, or am I just making this up? I know The Rock is in it.
They're both like bald, racially indeterminate men.
Yeah, big and tan. Why not? Go for it. I think that guy has an accent. I can't really tell.
Dude, Vin Diesel's middle name is Sinclair.
Yeah.
Oh, he's in the Fast and the Furious 6. There's going to be another Riddick movie. He was in Fast 5. Wow. So,
he's working, man.
You did totally make up the G.I. Joe thing.
When you get hooked up with those like the Fast and Furious, you get those franchises in, man. 3 movies in a row. You get paid less.
So,
no, they make it fun.
So he did. Wait, Fast and Furious? That came out in 2009? No, that was way earlier. Weird. Anyway, just random tangent. I'm sure our viewers appreciate us.
They're really excited about this. The most requested thing I get is, hey, can you guys ramble about celebrities in movies that aren't good?
And about Vin Diesel specifically, please read us his IMDb page.
Oh, it's Bruce Willis that's in the G.I. Joe picture. It's the other bald guy.
Bruce Willis?
Well, you don't really pay attention to the trailer, and you see these 2 guys shooting guns.
That's true.
They're both dressed the same
as the next.
Yeah, they get the same lighting.
Vin Diesel,
touched up.
Gandhi. I mean, it's all the same fucking thing.
All the same guy. I mean, if you saw UHF, you would know that's exactly how Gandhi rolls. One of the coolest things that I got to see at GDC wasn't actually really a part of GDC, I guess, but maybe. Oh,
right back.
Okay, cool. Well, I'll talk about this then. Let me load it up so I can. Instead of doing my smooth transition, I was going to work there by talking to him into it. Ryan Hawkins has a thread called Food for the Eye on Polycount. But if you were there, you got to see the whole book. All 200 pages of this ridiculous book that I don't really know how to describe so much as. Here's a whole bunch of game art, concept art, theory, tutorials, interview, all kinds of stuff. It's literally food for the eye. I got to check out all that. Really impressive work by him. Be sure to check that out. So what is up, homie? I was just talking about Ryan Hawkins' Food for the Eye. That book that he had. Did you see this?
No.
Shit. Oh, I thought maybe you got it. See, anyway, he had it on his iPad and he was showing it off. I don't really want to describe it again, but I'm going to link it to you just so you know what I'm talking about.
Sure.
And I'll also include it in the links for this video. Anyway, but really quickly, it's just this ebook he's putting together. It's going to be awesome. Like
Sweet.
200 pages. It's free, I guess. He could be making $1 billion off of this thing. He could make a Kickstarter for it.
Sweet. I wish I'd seen that. I only got to meet him really briefly. We were in the W is totally the hot spot for GDC and game developers.
That's where we hang out one time.
Yeah. That's when you got to meet my girl.
Yeah. Did you want to say more about that? Then I think we could talk about the W a little bit.
Oh, nah. Just if you're at GDC, the W is a really, really good hotspot for game developers and really shitty bartenders and expensive drinks.
It's directly adjacent from the main center where most of GDC goes down.
That's the place to go.
It's this big hotel that I guess it's really expensive to book there, especially at GDC.
Oh God, yeah.
As far as a hotel goes, but if you're staying there, it's pretty much the best location you could possibly be at.
It's probably like an execs only kind of place.
Yeah, I mean,
like even just an average hotel room at GDC is probably like $250, $300 a night.
They're
maybe
quite expensive.
$150 to $200 if you're lucky. But my girl got an awesome fucking deal for us, and it was just absurd. I think we paid maybe like $75 a night for like a pretty fucking nice hotel.
Yeah, and in that area,
awesome.
at that time of year. Very difficult to find.
Totally.
So yeah,
like
the
we're trying to book
go ahead.
E3. We're trying to book E3 travel now, and everything is sold out already 3 months in advance.
And when exactly is E3 again? Is it May, June?
June 5th through 7th.
5th through 7th.
Already sold out every hotel.
Wowza.
Yeah. So I'll be crashing on a friend's couch.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to missing that. No,
Again, in
who
my
knows?
line of
We'll
business,
see.
I can't afford to.
Right. I understand. But yeah, the W is it's one of those places right across the street. So there's so many parties there. If you go there, I just kind of went there before you got there because we were going to meet up one of those nights. And it was immediately just running into people I recognized. Or just generally, the thing about it is most of the people are like-minded in the sense that if they're not in the exact same job as you, which they could be doing the exact same thing you do. I mean, not so much for you, but if you're an artist or something.
Yeah.
No, but if you're a little bit of a specialist, maybe there's not a lot of guys out there doing that thing. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe there's a million of you.
I'm pretty sure I'm the only person that does what I do.
Oh, cool! Wow, you're like the Highlander. No, you're going to run into you're going to run into all these like-minded people. If they're at least going to be involved in games in some ways. So you're generally pretty easy to talk to. You can break the ice really easy, like, hey, you make games, right? So let's talk about it.
See, that's one of the things I love about GDC and just game development in general. If you're there at the Game Developers Conference, if you're seeing other game developers, they're people that cared enough to get into games, to work their asses off, to get in there, to do their thing, to be active, to make their passion and their dream essentially come true. Whether or not they're fully happy with what they're doing, they still passed this hurdle to get into games, to be good enough to be a part of that lifestyle. And that's something that you'll always, as a game developer, you'll always inherently have in common with people. This common ground, this common shared passion. And that's like an instant conversation starter for anyone with any shred of social awareness and ability.
Well, it seems like
I fucking love that.
It seems like everybody knows somebody that doesn't really apply to this. But if you've spent the time to at least maintain a career in the game industry, the gay ministry. Remember that old joke?
Yes.
Anyway,
every day.
Yeah. If they at least have the drive to maintain a career, here it takes something more than somebody that's just like, I don't know what to do with my life, or they just have a job that doesn't really require too much skill or anything. I mean, needless to say, every position is needed out there, but some stuff
it's hard to find the joy in sometimes.
I mean, like working at Arby's, obviously the aptitude to work there is a little bit less, just because of the amount of dedication and passion you have to put into your craft.
Yeah, and very few people's dreams are to work at Arby's.
Right. Either way, if you could be good at one thing,
of like fast food employees. I mean, granted, if you want to go to like the executive level, if it's something you're passionate about, I'm sure there are people for that. But yeah,
so you should try to respect most of the people you meet at these shows for sure, at least on that level, as opposed to, I mean,
are you supposed to?
You pretend. No, as opposed to you go to other shows more like consumer shows, or there's people that could just be like fanboys or loony bins, like people that aren't really.
Or fan bins and loony boys.
People's that lives aren't depending on this. They're just having a good time. They're just like, oh, let's go to the game show, Ma.
Sounds like PAX.
Yeah,
which okay, no, it sounds
I
like
I love PAX.
I fucking love PAX. I'm so glad it exists. I think it's a wonderful show. And honestly, I've had more fun at the one PAX I've been to than most of the E3s I've ever been to.
Oh, they're wild, man.
And everybody's there for a reason. When they're out there a developer, they're there for a reason, and I love and respect that.
It's a wonderful
It's a way for developers to connect directly to their fans. And one thing I wanted to say, just as far as like being in the industry and like being a part of that community and being a part of all that, and through thick and thin, what I've always heard is once you're in the industry for 3 years, if you can last 3 years, you're in, you're good,
you're set,
you're solid, pretty much set.
Well, it seems like for one, people after you've known some people, if you've worked with somebody on a project, and as far as you two were concerned, you're both successful at your work, regardless of the success of the project, because it's not really the same to, if you're just an artist on a project, you don't care about. I mean, you want the game to be a big hit. That's going to be great for everybody, but you're more concerned that the guys around you are putting in their work. As long as everybody's trying.
It's a mutual dedication to
craft.
It's
a mutual dedication to the
toward one project and one
right. And if you're just, like I said, if you're an artist, you can put everything you can into it, but it can't always be that deciding factor that makes a difference on what happens to your game, whether it be some major design flaws, some major bugs, or bad community support. You never know what's going to happen with a game until it comes out. So
exactly, but I feel
still
like
have camaraderie.
I feel like the belief and understanding that you do make a difference and reaching that far to try and do your absolute best to make the product the level best that you can is really important. Even though like the most junior artist on a project isn't going to be the difference between like selling 1 million units or selling 2 million units, still everybody is important. I think the driving motivation for most people working in games is I'm going to do the absolute fucking best I can, and I'm around people that live up that standard, or at least I want to be. I feel like that's sort of the ideal. And I feel like if you get too much of a sense of like, okay, well, I don't even matter, why should I try, can really bog most people down. But just finding that spark, that joy, like even when I'm really down and feeling really shitty, which hasn't happened a lot lately, fortunately, but when I felt really down, shitty, and just wondering what I'm doing with my life and my career, and just feeling like bad about my job and stuff, I stop, and what keeps me going is I stop and remember and tell myself what I do is fun. We make fucking video games. This is like one of the best jobs in the world, and there's so much joy to find in it. It's really just a matter of attitude and being able to focus on and force optimism no matter the hell what. And people that don't, wash out. You got to find something to hold on to, because the industry isn't going to take care of you. It's not all fun and games and dreams coming true. You really have to do it all for yourself if you don't have the wherewithal to be able to keep yourself motivated and find your own joy in it. Even if you don't believe in the product, believe in the process, believe in what you do, and try your ass off. That's what's really kept me going throughout the years. Even if it's a project I don't believe in, I work my ass off at it, and I do my absolute best. I challenge myself, I hone my skills, I learn from the people around me. Even if I don't think the product is even going to succeed, I still do my best at it, and I have a great time working with really cool people doing something that most people in the world could only dream of. And I never for 1 second am I ungrateful for what I have.
Sure, you're not.
Sorry, that was a big
I didn't want to interject because you're free flowing, man. It's like a jazz singer. Yeah. Yeah. No, you're right. You just don't. It's such a more eloquent way of putting it. Yeah, you respect what you have. You don't have that. You always want to push for what you can be. I would say one of the earliest things that I was thinking when you just started with that was if you're junior or you're just getting started, having any sort of ship title as credits is a huge plus. Like that's on your resume. So suddenly you've got your first game out there. So if you don't have to care about the game, you can at least look forward to that. But as as you get a little bit farther in, ideally you're pushing. You do the best you can so that hopefully that can help the product, even if you don't really have a direct result in what happens. A lot of games have really pretty art dumps.
Oh, totally. Like Josh Singh had that ridiculous one from, I think it was Josh Singh on the Kingdoms of Amalur.
Oh, there were several people that had. Wait, or maybe I'm thinking of a different one. Yeah, the most recent one. I know which one you're talking about. Now I got to dig that one up. It's pretty awesome.
Actually, I have the link. I'll send it to you right now, so you can put it in the cast.
That will save time.
I've kept that tab open in Chrome for like 2 weeks. It's just so good. It's so good.
That's another thing is like games that are just in different markets. You'll never play them. So it's always good to see art from games. It's really nice.
Totally, it's inspiring. I love it when people do that. Like, dude, anytime I want Guild Wars 2 to ship so I can see all the art from that game. That studio, like, honestly, I think outside of Blizzard, I don't think there is a greater Blizzard, maybe Vigil. Actually, no, I think ArenaNet operates on a much larger scale than Vigil. Vigil's the best art team I've ever worked with in my life. And those guys are incredible.
Well, they're good, but there's something about what comes out of those Guild Wars products. I really feel like, I think you're kind of right with that original comparison. That they're on that kind of next level because they've created such a deep product.
And their studio art director, Daniel Dosiu, he's actually. Do you remember Half-Life 2?
Mm-hmm. No, I don't remember Half-Life 2. What the fuck are you talking about?
Do you remember the Mad Russian?
In Half-Life 2, the character?
Yeah, like the Mad Russian guy from like Raven.
Oh, yeah.
He was like his.
He was like a preacher or something.
Modeled, yes, his appearance and look was modeled after Daniel Dosiu, who's the studio art director of ArenaNet. Just fun fact. Not a lot of people know that.
Wow.
He is one of the best artists I've ever seen in my life, and he hires nothing but the absolute bleeding edge, most talented concept artists in the world. Like, honestly, I really think that they are neck and neck with Blizzard just in terms of sheer scale of ultra talent. Sure. And whenever they're like the Guild Wars, every Guild Wars expansion pack art dump, I save every image, I pour over it. Those guys know what they're doing. God, they're amazing. And Daniel, see, that's the crazy thing. So he's at such a high level. He's a studio level art director, and he still does shit that gets on the front page of CG Talk anytime he posts. He is that good at hiring and doing art and running a studio. I mean, he helped me out a lot when I was at NCSoft. He was working as sort of like the North American art director of NCSoft. He's so nice. He is so smart, so generous. My God, seriously, that dude is incredible. And the ArenaNet, whenever you see artists, like artists' resumes that have worked at Blizzard, Vigil, and ArenaNet, I say, okay, this is someone worth looking at. These people have.
Well, he's probably good at art.
Been hired there. If they're hired there,
and lasted more than 1 month in the resume.
Exactly. Well, less so with Vigil, but those three studios.
Quick turnaround.
Studios. Yeah. But of those three studios, if that's on your resume, you're worth a second look. Especially Vigil. Those guys are going to go through a really hard time this year. Just with THQ and all their weirdness. I mean, it's not like it's Vigil's fault. They're owned by THQ. THQ's going through a rough time. Things are weird. They're looking for a publisher for their Warhammer 40,000 MMO.
When they're talking publicly about stuff like that, and it's not them. Again, it's the publisher who's also the publisher for Nexus, who released on Xbox 360, coming soon to PC, Steam.
Yeah.
And we're fine. We're done. We're shipping. We're good.
But yeah, I'm not acting on any inside knowledge at all. Just in all honesty, THQ looks bad. Vigil, THQ asked for a publishing partner for Vigil because they said publicly they can't afford it. There's so many good people there, especially the artists. I always
want good people employed, no matter what.
Vigil hires extremely well. If you see a Vigil resume pass your desk, for anyone in a hiring position, please look twice. They're so talented and they're such good people. Just do. They deserve it. For any THQ studio, I mean, for over the next year, they already shut down Chaos. They shut down Rainbow a while ago. Relic and Vigil are two of the big ones left. And yeah, I just feel bad for anybody employed by THQ Studio at this point, full on employed and owned. I think THQ got delisted from the stock market because their stock price is so low and they're not doing well.
Yeah, it got a little low. I don't try to play the stocks or anything like that, but it got pretty low. However, if you like Vigil and like a chance to even get your work in their game Darksiders 2, Polycount right now is running a weapon contest. It's been going a little while. You should have already known about this and you should have got involved if you want to. However, I think the deadline I'm reading here, I'm going to try to find it again, is March 26th. So it's just a weapon.
Totally.
Still got a week and a half. Well, almost 2 weeks.
Fun fact, I designed the entire weapon progression system and most of the weapons system of Darksiders 2.
Well, look at you.
Yeah. I'm pretty proud of that. I think that's going to be a really great game. There's so many good people on it. I think it looks amazing, and I think it's going to kick serious ass. Like, seriously, buy Darksiders 2.
Oh, it looks cool.
I have no vested interest in it. It looks cool. It plays great. Like, even from a very early state, it played great and looked awesome.
Well, that sounds good.
It's been
so many good artists. You want it to be good.
Oh, totally. It's been almost a year since I've been there, and it looked awesome then. It can only be mind-bendingly incredible now, and I've heard great things.
Hell yeah. Art of Jonathan Kurtz.
Oh, John Kurtz, dude. Oh, that cover they had for Game Informer last June. The big, it's like the front and the back. They had like the big cool evil castle in the background. They had death in the front.
I got a little scared. I had to put it under another magazine.
Dude, I helped commission that piece. Joe Mad did the pencils for it, and John Kurtz took it the rest of the way. I helped put that contract together. I helped do like a little bit of the art management on it, just a little, not a lot. I can't take credit for it, but I was involved in that.
I heard that you did everything.
That is true. That's absolutely true. But yeah, I was only a Vigil for 6 months. 6 months too long. I was only a Vigil for 6 months, but every single thing I did there, I'm really proud of. And the people I worked with were just great. Sorry, I'm kind of just going on and on about that.
I was just going to jump in real quick about Jonathan Kurtz. I'm going to link his portfolio, and I think I've done it before, jkurtz.com, jkrtz.com, and he hasn't updated it. He updated it recently, actually, with some info, but not... he doesn't have any work up here from Vigil. Mostly what we're looking at here is Warhammer Online concept art and a couple of personal pieces here on the front page.
So he's best of the best.
Yeah, I worked with him at Warhammer, man. God, he's awesome. And one day we did like a team seminar thing where certain people were presenting like ways they do things. Like, hey, I do this in this program, and he just straight painted a concept in front of everybody, like no problem. I was like, yeah, just start with this color, and then here it is, and it's awesome. Shut up. He did great.
Oh, he's so awesome. Badass. I had the absolute pleasure of managing him directly for 3 or 4 months when I was at Vigil. Just every single day he had a drop. It was like Christmas. That dude works so fast and he's so good. John Kurtz.
Back at Mythic, one time he got stuck in the elevator because he was working late at night and the elevator stopped.
Oh, that sucks.
And it was late, so everybody was done. It was like 3 a.m. or something. Yeah.
How long was he in there?
I don't know. It was a while. I'm just gonna guess it was like 3 or 4 hours. I'm sure he could tell the story if he wanted to. I don't even know if he.
Actually, I'm gonna hit him up and ask him.
Yeah.
Like when I was at Vigil, I got stuck in an elevator with like 3 or 4 other dudes. Like it was only on the second floor.
Real gay, real quick.
Oh, it totally did. It was absolutely just instant sodomy. Mm-hmm. But. I just got stuck between the first floor and the second floor. The lights flickered. Whole thing was just going. It was like go 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 go. It was like we're in a fucking rock tumbler for like 5 or 10 seconds.
So you were all smooth right after that.
Oh, I was.
Didn't have to shave for a week.
No, and after all the sodomy, it helped. But like once we got to the top, like the receptionist was looking at us like real funny because she could hear us like yelling. And like we just like fucking dove out of there and went, fuck that elevator! Oh my god! Like apparently it happened to somebody else earlier in the day. Like, okay, how much do you have to suck as an elevator to fuck up going up one floor?
Oh, I'd love to be in an elevator and just fuck with people like that. Like, here we go. We're gonna get them real high. 53. Oh no!
Although
be fine.
See, fun fact though, I've actually heard from several sources that outside of like hypothetically, if a plane were to ram into a building, no elevator has ever actually dropped like you see in movies.
Oh yeah,
no elevator has ever actually disconnected and dropped.
Well, you see, the reason is there's no
systems are so amazing.
There's no aliens or monsters with sharp claws that actually are cutting these.
So
that's why it never happens. What's that?
Did you say that's the problem?
No. I said the reason. The problem is there's no aliens killing people in elevators secretly in the shafts waiting.
I would say that's a problem. I think life would be a lot more interesting.
Give cockroaches time. I don't think they're smart enough to learn it, but they get some radioactive donuts or.
Give cockroaches time. Give them radioactive donut.
It could happen. This could really happen.
I will bet you $50 somewhere in the world right now. There's a laboratory that's experimenting on exactly this.
Look, we got to make
just radioactive donuts so they can kill elevators.
Yeah, you basically spice them with a crab to give them a death claw, and you just breed that claw till it can snap whatever. Steel, sure.
There'd be a steel. Would it be a cock crab or a crab roach?
I don't know. It's not for me to decide. It's for Hollywood.
I like your hypothetical humility.
That just shows you, that I'm not,
You're not all big-headed.
I'm not all big-headed about this idea.
So cockroaches crossbred with crabs, fed radioactive donuts to destroy elevators. I would watch that movie.
I didn't see any of those in San Francisco, but
see, the Pacific Northwest, they're not all that cool about bugs. Oh, see, weird thing. Okay, Tracy Hunt will tell you this. When I was in Portland, I didn't see. I think I saw like a gnat. In the year I was there, I saw one gnat. There were no ants, no mosquitoes, no roaches, no beetles, no flies. No fucking bugs whatsoever. And so Portland's also famous for their Shanghai tunnels. Like, I think you were telling me about this underneath San Francisco. They have some bars.
Yeah, I don't know if they have them there, or I don't know where all of them are, but I imagine there's some. I'd have to look it up. And I know they're the ones that you were talking about, the ones that are up in Portland.
Yeah, so there's some bars.
I'm sure they have to be all around that whole Western Seaboard.
Oh,
right?
Absolutely! It's so easy. Like Portland is 90 miles inland. Is the furthest inland of any city.
Yeah. Actually, talk about this. I'm going to be right back.
Sure. So, if any of you have ever heard the term being Shanghaied, that means that you've been kidnapped and forced into slavery. And apparently, Portland was a hotbed for this. Portland, Oregon. There are certain bars in Portland that had a certain stool in which people who were wanting to Shanghai people would, they'd sit someone down on that stool, get them really, really drunk, and there's a trapdoor under the stool that drop them into tunnels underneath the city. And these exist, like straight up, these exist. Search for it on Google if you don't believe me. Shanghai Tunnels, Portland. There are certain bars that would drop these people into tunnels, and they'd wander out, and they would end up in a port at which point they are basically enslaved. And supposedly between 1800 and 1950, it didn't stop till 1950, which is fucked up. From 1800 until 1950, there were over 100,000 people that were kidnapped and shanghaied and sold into slavery. And in Portland, there are the trapdoors underneath these stools in specific bars. And when I lived there, I lived 2 blocks from one of these places. So that was actually a really, really big thing. And for the life of me, I cannot remember why we started talking about this.
Just because it was interesting, and somehow we got talking about the trapdoors down there. Did you say anything? Did you know anything about the shoes?
Oh, actually, fuck. The shoes in a second. I remember now. So there were tours of all these Shanghai tunnels in Portland. And in Portland, they don't have bugs. And one person that worked in the Shanghai tunnels for 20 or 30 years said that the entire time they never saw the only insect they saw in like 20 or 30 years was I think like this colossal spider that was big enough to have a fucking green card. But outside of that, they never saw a single fucking insect in all that time working underneath the city's dank, fucked up, shitty tunnels they had to go through and renovate just to make them even remotely safe for people to do tours through. So the Pacific Northwest, not so much about bugs. So, shoes.
Yeah, nice. Well, I've seen a documentary about them where they've explored those tunnels, and basically it's like right under the chute is basically like a mattress, and there were just piles of shoes everywhere. Because they would capture the guys, and the first thing to do is they'd take their shoes off so that they couldn't run away to these tunnels. Because apparently they would kind of trap up the floors, you know what I mean? I don't know what they would do, but it's tunnels, and you can't run away and you got no shoes. That was the gimmick. Anyway.
I like that.
Just a weird fact, I guess.
Like that. It's human slavery.
Exactly. Hey, guess what? Your life's over.
Like between 1800 and 1950, apparently there were over 100,000 people that were shanghaied. Not just in Portland, but just like across like the whole West Coast. And yeah, it's just crazy fucked up.
Hey, you know what we haven't talked about at all about San Francisco?
What's that?
The food.
Oh my god.
I just knocked down the barriers of destruction. I unleashed doom.
The food. My girlfriend tried raw oyster for the very first time in San Francisco at the Hog Island Oyster Company in the Embarcadero, right, like in view of the Bay Bridge, right in the bay. Fucking incredible. That was the first time I ever had oysters was at that place 5 years before, and I got to pop her oyster cherry there, and she loved them. She loved it. And yeah, dude, the food had this crazy paella at the Thirsty Bear where we met. I had dude, I ate barracuda. I got to try barracuda at a sushi place, man. It was good. It's really good.
It's better than barracuda eating you. I think. I think basically we had this.
That's a great way to die.
You know, I tell you what, getting killed by an animal is pretty awesome. Didn't we talk about this? We talked about this before. I know. I don't know if we talked about it on the show or just in chat, where we like made a pact that if we were ever killed by a bear or some kind of mountain cat, that we get like he died awesome in the eulogy or something like that. I forgot what we said, but we made a pact.
No,
anyway, that's not important. But
I would love to die in an awesome way. Like even if I die horribly, if it's something that makes a really good story, I'm totally okay with that. Like I mean, if
heroically,
yeah, well,
or tragically,
even if it's like tragically hilarious.
Tragically hilarious.
Like if I got killed by like a pack of bear cubs, not a full-grown bear, just bear cubs, that'd be pretty fucking funny.
Bear cubs will be funny. How would you generally describe tragically hilarious? I guess bear cubs. The first thing that just popped into my head was somebody doing a handstand on a ledge and falling off the wrong way.
Have you seen that video?
Probably. I've seen the internet.
Like the dude jumping off that high ledge and splitting his skull open.
Ugh.
Like the entire.
I don't like none of that shit. But I've probably seen it.
Bullshit.
I've seen all those videos. Well, you know, it's cool because like, whoa, look at this.
His head open.
Oh, that guy. Oh God. Oh, jeez. Yeah, I remember that guy.
You're the one that sends me those fucked up shit.
Well, it's been a while.
Oh, God, about it.
I have aged
actually,
since.
I would love to hear from the CrunchCast listeners. What would be a tragically hilarious death?
What would be a tragically hilarious death? I guess something like a clown.
Like being trampled to death by a marathon of people on tricycles.
Okay. Yeah. Or something like a clown, and he's folding one of those balloons up, making a balloon animal, and tragically dies. Like it pops and kills him. Like that seems pretty apt.
Even funnier if it was a balloon animal of a gravestone.
Oh yeah, like something
like if you could feel a heart attack coming on,
like something that could at least make somebody think it's ironic whether it actually is or not. They go, oh look, this is ironic, and they post a picture on Facebook. You know, that's not what the word means at all.
No, it isn't. It's a very Alanis Morissette definition of it.
But she's just having a good time.
Anything I could die from that would be a really funny Facebook forward. Like I remember seeing an obituary of a guy that like got killed by a bowling ball.
That always sucks.
That's sad, but that's really funny.
It became a meme.
Just anything you can die from in a really funny way.
What a sad turn. Anyway, let's go back to food because food is fun. Yay! Look, kitties and puppies and titties. Food.
You said eating barracuda is better than being eaten by a barracuda, but yes.
Yeah, we transitioned into that poorly.
What did you have that you liked in San Francisco as far as food is concerned?
Okay, wow. Nice. You're doing your best, and that's what's important. Our boss Chuck used to live out there, and he's got a buddy that he actually travels quite a bit, but I guess he still lives out there too. And he's like, he says, "What's the best sushi in town?" And he took us way off into this spot in J-Town, and it was pretty expensive.
Good sushi is.
It was pretty good, and of
course, do you remember the name of the place?
I'd have to get the name, to be honest. It was one of those. the signs changed from English to some characters. So I don't know what... I mean, the road signs, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know what was going on.
I totally know what you mean. Like the place I had Barracuda was Otoro Sushi, Otoro. Really good.
Nice. There's so many good places out there. Here, the real deal is, if it's out there, and it's been out there longer than a few years, it has to be good because the competition level is just too high. We did the 7 courses of beef at that one spot. I need to get these names. And there was another night we went to some place and got Indian food. It was off the chain.
See, the way I remember these places is I always check in on Foursquare and take a picture of it so I can remember.
Oh, yeah. Well, you got one of those future phones. I still have the old flippity flop. I got the old beam me up Scotty.
Gotta get the times, man.
Gotta get on the future.
It'll change the way you poop.
I could have been tweeting and Facebooking this whole time.
I know. Damn it.
I could have been in a Google chat.
So unprofessional.
Yeah. I had to step up my game. I had to step it up. It's true. I went by the Verizon store Sunday, and my tire went flat on my bike, and I had to go back. I couldn't make things happen.
Oh, that sucks. But you need a smartphone, man. One other good place I went, I was over on Sutter and Polk. And Polk Street is apparently an amazing place for food. My girlfriend and I randomly found a really, really tasty place called Victor's Italian Restaurant. And we had gnocchi bolognese, which was just fucking and minestrone soup, which is mind-bendingly great. The gnocchi was a size, usually gnocchi is fairly small, maybe the size of a grape, like a fairly large grape, but these were the size of human thumbs, and they were incredible. I don't know why that's my immediate go-to for a size comparison.
Human thumbs.
Wine bottle of pork,
maybe. It's like a small sausage, or a large sausage if you've got some big power lifter thumbs.
Yes, power lifter. Yeah, it was the size.
Got meat hooks, your hands like a bunch of bananas, just huge. And...
I'm not talking NBA scale. But no, that shit was good, dude. Every meal I had there was magic.
Oh yeah.
Well, I did go to one
wonderful
Spanish tapas joint that was kind of meh. It's called Maven. Didn't really care for it. It was $9 for 2 super tiny smoked duck brisket sliders, which were just
that was a lot of words. Smoked duck brisket sliders. Everything's sliders nowadays. You notice that everywhere you go, sliders.
Dude, everywhere. Yeah, sliders. But these I like duck a lot, but duck is a naturally oily meat. And I don't know how the hell they managed it, but they managed to make this duck dry, really dry,
overcooked it.
Well, I have expectations of duck.
No, absolutely, I understand. Like a big fatty steak, it's going to be more greasy than a grass fed. You got to cook it completely differently.
That is true. But I'm starting to get a bit tired. I have
absolutely.
To do. It's 1:15 in the morning.
We got work to do. So yeah. GDC was a good time. Had a great time hanging out with everybody that we met. I wish we could name you all, but there's 200 plus people. No, I would say probably 22 or 30.
No, it's about 200 for me.
You're a wild man. You're out there in front of the cameras.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I'm socially slutty, but yeah, it's a fun show, and I think the cast went pretty well. I dig this. Just I have a one-on-one kind of thing.
Just like the old days, taking it easy. Yeah, we appreciate everybody that showed us love over GDC. Oh, and one quick thing I forgot to mention. I did get word that apparently there were some college professors using the show.
The what?
Remember? Did you hear anything at the W? Meredith was talking about this. The college professors that were talking about using the show for some sort of.
Oh yeah, dude. Dan Cox. Yeah, I for the life of me right now, I'm really, really tired. I can't remember what.
No, it's fine.
I can't remember what university he teaches, but I told him about the CrunchCast. He's been going absolutely nuts for it. He's going to show it to all his students. He's going through everything. And I've known him for a while. He's like I've wanted to do like sort of like a speech thing for his class and whatnot. He's used some of my blog articles as some of the material for his courses. But yeah, he's going nuts for the CrunchCast, and he's really, really into it. And he thinks his students will be too. I warned him it can be salty, mainly because of me.
Oh, I bet he hates episodes like this where it's like all these guys are talking about is Dick Tracy and King Kong. I've had enough of this.
Dude, that was an unlikely mashup, but very enjoyable.
No, you're
Dick
welcome.
Tracy versus King Kong.
Well, I remember we talked about more recent movie stars and creatures, so I wanted to take it back as far as possible.
Dude, Dick Tracy and King, those are fucking great. That's gold.
You're welcome.
Dude, that'd be a great mashup. For the CrunchCast listeners, everyone's listened this far. If you think Dick Tracy versus King Kong would be a great mashup, tweet us at CrunchCast.
How would they fight? He would solve a mystery. He goes, "Oh, where's King Kong?" He's like, "There he is, you idiots! Why didn't you look up?"
Talks his little wrist radio. Yeah. It's like Flat Top, take your shot. They're working together for this. Dick Tracy and Flat Top.
Watch your step, Toots. Two-Face is a foot. Wait, Two-Face. That's a Batman character. I was gonna say Prune Face. I meant to say Prune Face, which is a Dick Tracy character.
It's a Batman mashup too, dude.
Oh,
that is
good. Batman's in there too. I bet. I have a feeling Predator's gonna make a cameo.
Dick Tracy, Batman, Predator, and King Kong. I would watch this movie so much.
Jean-Claude Van Damme plays the mayor of New York City.
Dolph Lundgren as the Predator. And Dolph Lundgren as himself.
In full Predator makeup. You just can't tell. He doesn't even have a line. It just clicks.
And Carrot Top is Dick Tracy.
Oh, gross. You lost me there, bro. Anyway.
I'm trying.
You pushed, and you pushed too far. So yeah, thanks for listening to the CrunchCast. This is episode 34, a little GDC recap. We got crunchstudios.com. Be sure to go to Facebook.com/CrunchCast and like us, because you know what? It actually helps. I feel like a jackass to even say it, but it really actually lets us know who's watching this show, because it gives all these. Facebook steals all your information and then gives it to us. And we use it, and we sell it for nothing. We make no money. No, that's all fraudulent. But no, it's useful. We like it.
Verizon has all your credit card numbers now.
We do.
It's anonymous.
We do. And be sure to subscribe on YouTube if you like us. I think we just broke 200 subscribers. I don't know. It jumps up and down every few days. It's a weird thing. So you never know until it's like really past it.
Our total views are north of 50,000 now, right? Views and listens.
As far as this show goes, total? I'd have to look. I haven't looked in a few weeks because I'm out, but obviously a bunch picked up from then.
Like, this specific show has 50,000 views already. We're still recording.
No, it's not even uploaded. It's people just refreshing YouTube, waiting. No, they got
the bitches on our dick.
They got the MP3 URL in, but their web browser just slamming F5. They wrote a script to slam F5. No, it's doing all right. It makes us all happy that people are actually checking this crazy thing out that we do.
Indeedly do.
We just love video games too much, and we're going to have to go out with that. I'm Chris Holden, and that's John Jones, and we'll see you next week on the CrunchCast.
Good night, everybody.